Hey guys, welcome to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here. We have Baby Glock on camera duty, and today we are coming at you with another knife review, the Ontario SP1 Marine Combat. Now first, before I get started, one of the things I want to do is say thank you to Swiss Army Zippo for giving us the opportunity to do a review for his channel. We really appreciate it, brother. The support you've given our channel has been huge, and we would thank you for it. And so let us get set up and get back to it. Okay guys, first thing first, as I always like to do, let's run over the specs of the SP1 Marine Combat by Ontario Knife Company. Alright, first and foremost, you have a 7-inch blade. It is made out of a 1095 hard carbon steel. It's about 12 inches overall, 10 ounces in weight, and as you can see here, made in the USA. Alright, always love when I can get knives that are made here in the USA. Now this one, and this one you kind of need to know, depending on where you live, this does have a sharpened swedge right here. I'll move it up a little bit closer so you can see. Now, you can get this without the sharpened swedge or like this. Luckily here where I live, the knife laws are very knife friendly, so we're allowed to have it. The knife handle scales, as you can see here, you got a nice palm swell that goes right here, but it's not real thick right here. Now for me personally, I really like that because it actually fits my hand perfect. And as you can see here, you got this extra little groove that really kind of locks your hand into if you're needed to do some chopping. Lanyard. And of course, I'd always say they just use some shoestrings, but you could always replace that with paracord. Yeah, kind of funny, huh?
That's why it was so soft.
But man, this thing, as you can see, I mean, it's gotten plenty of love so far, and this thing has just rocked. So let's show you what the SP1 Marine Combat can do.
Hi guys, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Baby Glock, and I'll be doing a review on the sheath. My dad is doing a review on the knife, so let's get started with the sheath. So back here is the leather part of the sheath and a leather belt loop so that it fits any size belt. If you come to the front, you see that there's nylon front and buckles so that it never falls out. Well, it helps it keep it in place. So the retention is good. So then the D-ring right here is for if you want to put it like on your pants and you don't want it to make any noise, just hoop it around and put it through the D-ring. So if you're in a no knife section, so let's get the chopping.
Okay guys, now the kind of intents and purposes, when you look at this knife, I think you would probably notice that it looks a whole lot like the K-Bar USMC combat knife, right? And you would be right, because they're made out of the exact same material. Blade shape is pretty much the same. This just has the craton handle instead of the stacked leather. So more than likely this is going to last you longer, and then will do well in wet conditions. But since these knives are meant to be like survival knives and utility knives, let's see if it can serve that role. First thing I'm going to do, I've got a little cedar tree here right that's dead, so we're going to test its chopping capabilities. Now this knife, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, is only 10 ounces, so it's not real heavy, but I think you're kind of going to be impressed at the performance out of this. All right, here we go.
Wood is everywhere.
So if you kind of need that one tool option, you definitely have to have a knife that can chop. Although, like I said, you can kind of get limited by the knife's weight. But so far, I've not been let down. with this one. We bought this back in the spring, so it's maybe been 5 months that I've been using this. And as you can see, making pretty good work out of this cedar tree.
It's making them sweat and see it. Almost.
Well, it's coming down. It's also coming out of the ground.
Maybe you should chop more to the bottom.
Well, it's almost through right here. Now, ideally, when you're out camping, hiking, and stuff like that, you're going to bring a folding saw, axe, tomahawk, something like that. But there's a reason why we call them survival knives. Because you're going through the scenario of this may be the only tool that you have. Because for whatever reason, you've lost the others, or they broke.
Why would they break? They're good.
Well,
this is a tough tree. The knife isn't faulty, it's just the tree.
yeah, it's gonna.
Put all your weight into it.
Cedar has a lot of strong
Mr.
core,
Nut.
but that's okay. You want to give the knife a challenge.
Tree's problem.
He's about to go. Nope. Wow.
Kind of at an angle, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. There we go.
Come on! Do it! Whoa.
There we go.
Snapped off
So
by a
as you
candy
can
bar.
see, it'll chop. And if you can focus the camera in over here, it's
Ooh, it's red.
2.5 inches thick. So, I mean, this is a hardwood, so that's shows you how it can do with that. Now,
That's why it's called cedar wood. Wait, that's not a pun.
yeah, that's okay. All right, now we've seen that it can chop. What I'm gonna do is get it a baton, use my folding saw, show you how it does batoning. Be right back. All right, guys. Now, just so you know, just to save some time, I used my folding saw to cut me off a baton, so you wouldn't have to keep watching that. Now, this log, like I said, it's probably about 2.5 inches wide. This is a 7-inch blade, so it's not going to have any problem spanning this. But just to show you that it can, and that how it does with batoning. Now, one thing I will say is that with this sharpened swedge right here on the front, you can eat up your batons fairly quickly. And if I was going to give any criticisms to the blade, that would probably be it. I don't see the need for, as far as an outdoors knife, having that sharpened swedge. I know some people might call it like your backup blade, but for every time that I'm hitting this thing, I'm slowly dulling that edge. Now,
Can't you just sharpen it?
you can, but if you were in the field and this is all you had, the last thing you want to do is keep dulling your edges.
Oh.
Now, this sharpened swedge, what it will do is make it really good for piercing.
Huh?
Now, you could also use this for skinning and stuff like this because it's 1095. It takes a razor sharp edge. It holds it for a long time. I mean, I've been really impressed. I have only touched the edge up on this once, and I've ran it on a strop twice in the 4 to 5 months I've been using this. So, like I said, to me this is just not necessary, but I wanted it just because it was kind of cool. Now, if you were in military
Like a
law
pirate's knife.
enforcement and you were going to carry a fixed blade for fighting knife, you know, okay, I get it. But outdoors woods knife is just not really necessary. So if you have the option to choose, personally, I would just go without it. All right, so as you can see, it's popping right through this stuff with no effort. This is a really hard wood. I mean, even just cutting it with my folding saw took a little while to get through that. So this wood is really, really hard. Now, one of the things that we need to see, how's the spine on this bad boy? If I need to use it to shave off some of that wood,
Do the feathering?
get some fine shaving
Wait, is that what you call it?
for fire starting.
Shaving.
I mean, it's definitely got a good 90-degree edge, just shaving that off. And obviously you're gonna need to, does it have the fine skills? I mean, without hardly pushing, you can see these fine shavings you can do. So if you had the feather stick, got plenty to work with.
Or you can call them wood curls, kind of like chocolate curls.
Yeah. I mean, so you can get some really good curls out of this. A lot of good carving. I mean, a 7-inch blade serves a lot of purposes. Does, like I said, razor sharp edge. Gonna do some great curls. Carve up any way you want. Okay, I guess here would be another thing that I would say. There's a lot of times when you're trying to get detailed into carving, or if you're skinning, you know, people like to put their finger on the back of that knife so they can really get in there and do some good controlled, detailed work. Well, with a sharpened swedge, if you're in a survival situation, typically means you're having a really bad day, you're probably not going to have a pair of gloves with you. So that's automatically going to limit where you can control that blade from. Now, luckily, having Kevlar gloves, I could do this all day and not have to worry about it. But, you know, you got to take into account, are you going to have this all the time? So, you see it can chop, you see it batons, it can feather stick, has a 90-degree spine, so it'll shave off wood so you don't have to use the blade. It will strike a fire still. Unfortunately, I left mine at the house. But take my word for it. I mean, if it can, you know, shred off the bark, I mean, you know, it's probably going to have a really good, do really well with striking a fire still. Now, as you can see, the coating is coming off. This knife has gotten plenty of love, both sides. Now, so far I've never come across a blade coating that doesn't come off. So for me, I don't know, it's more like battle scars. I kind of like it. It makes it, to me, life look cooler. But at the same time, it do have to remember that your knife is going to rust, especially when this coating comes off. So, you know, 1095, it's high carbon. You're going to have to keep it oiled, which for me, I'm very good about maintaining my tools, so that's not an issue. I mean, it is full tang, even though it has the craton over the handle, but I mean, you could still use it to crush things if you needed to. Let's see if we got, I don't know, there's a pine cone. I don't have any acorns or anything around here.
Acorns.
So this is a
What am I
young
supposed
pine
to do?
cone, so it's a little firm. That's probably not the best example, but I mean it can be used just like a pommel, just like on the K-bar knife. Instead of having just brass right here, though, it is covered in craton, but it's still hard. If you had to use this as a non-lethal form of self-defense, you know, it's going to hurt. So, kind of to wrap things up, what do I think about this? And
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10. I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5. And
Okay.
I mean, 8.5 means I would still buy it again. But the biggest thing for me, there's only two things that I really don't like about it. One, the unsharpened the sharpened swedge, which, like I said, you could buy it without that. So that is an option. I just happen to get it with it. And the other is the sheath. I like the fact that it's a leather back, and I like the nylon front. What I wish even more is that it was MOLLE compatible.
Huh? Oh yeah, the little straps.
Yeah, so that way I could strap it to my pack when I'm hiking, and I don't always have to have it hanging off my belt. Because a lot of the packs that I have wider waist belts on them, and it either just pushes down on the knife and starts to dig into your waist, or you just have to leave it in the pack if it's not MOLLE compatible. So seeing a Kydex option, that would be cool, or even just a nylon strap, you know, so you can strap it to a pack. Other than that, I mean, I really like this knife. It's very ergonomic. It feels really good in your hand. There's no hot spots. It can do everything that you need it to do.
What does hot spots mean?
It means that it creates pain in your hand. Like
like
as you
cramps?
grip it harder, it starts to hurt more.
Oh, that's
So, made in the USA, love it. 1095, love it. It holds an edge really long time. Love that. So, I mean, like I said, the only things I can fault was my choice, I guess, in buying the sharpened swedge and then them making a sheath that's not MOLLE compatible. Alright guys, that's kind of it for the review. Hope this helps you in your future purchasing decisions. Being out here in the woods, me and Baby Glock did run across a shelter that someone had started to build. So we're going to cut and probably run and give you a little view of that before we head out. Alright, see you at the shelter. Okay guys, here's the shelter we ran across while we came out here to look for a spot to film. Thought it was pretty interesting, thought you might want to see it. As you can see, they used a spool for a little table and a couple of cinder blocks for chairs.
There must have been 2 people out there.
Yeah, so, well, there's a lot of kids that come out here and trash the place a lot. Not really happy about that. But that's okay, you know. Well, not okay. Not on their part. When you go into the woods, you should leave no trace. Nobody should know you were ever there. And that's not what the kids do around here. But I mean, if you were in a survival situation, you know, this is the kind of the idea of what you do to survive.
And if you're also in a survival situation, you want people to know that you're there, except for wild animals.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hope your review of this knife helps you in your purchasing decisions. I do recommend it. I really do. It has been an outstanding knife. Thank you once again, Swiss Army Zippo, for giving us a chance to do this review on your channel for the exposure. Your support's been awesome, brother. And so, we're going to sign off now.
Brother from another mother.
Okay, guys. In the meantime, be prepared.
And have fun.
Talk to you later.